Demario, so you have understood that going to college was important, studying was important. You had to make studying a priority. You realized that studying was actually a strength of yours, but you had to make it a priority first in order for you to become a strength that you took into real life because you felt as if financial literacy was something that you needed to study, and everyone needs to know that. And what was your final financial literacy tip? You said know what?
Yeah, so the final tip is to know exactly where every single penny is going. No matter if you made it, if you saved it, if you invested, know exactly where it's going and what it's being used for.
Yeah, so when you do that, that's an attention to detail, right? And that's something that will allow you to pay more attention to everything in your life.
Yeah.
But it'll start with your money because where your money goes is where your mind goes, where your energy goes. And so you notice he said investments. Well, every time you pay yourself, that's an investment. Every time you pay a company in exchange for something else, you're investing in that company because that company won't stay alive unless you keep paying it, right? Apple Music, for example. So, I think Demario has given us a great wealth of tips. I would say, so I have 2 more questions.
Okay, no problem.
And so the second to last question is just, what's a challenge that you overcame in college? I'm sure there was a lot. You said first year, second year, third year. There was some fumbles. So pick a year. Pick a problem. But I want you to tell people what the problem was, why it was a challenge for you, and then how you overcame it.
Absolutely, man. That's a phenomenal question, and I had a multitude of challenges in college and just in my life in general. And I think that we can all, no matter who you are, where you are on the planet, everybody has been through something. I don't care how wealthy you are, I don't care how poor you are, I don't care if you're black, you're a female, if you're gay, if you're white, everybody has been through something. And and I think that makes us all human and all relatable. One of the challenges that I experienced, and not the worst challenge that I had in my life, but probably one of the most impactful challenges that I've had, is overcoming my fear of success. That's been one of my most, that's been the highest hurdle that I had to jump over, is overcoming my fear of success.
So wait, how did you even know that you were afraid of success?
Because I knew, because I my apologies.
Important man, you know what I'm saying? Phone going off.
Sorry about that. I knew that I had a fear of success when I began to realize that I was self-sabotaging friendships, opportunities, and my life in general. It took a lot of introspection, and I really I had to have a heart-to-heart conversation with myself, and really
How do you, I'm sorry, I know this is a very serious moment, but I just imagine Demario being like, yo, Demario, I need you to really, get your stuff together. And then he's just over here on this side but bruh, I'm trying. So, I mean, hey, I'm sure it was a long conversation. You said first year, second year, third year. And I know that's something that a lot of people deal with. And, I won't even say myself, I definitely have also self-sabotage. And I think to this day, I still do it in a certain extent. I allow myself to excel in some lanes and in other lanes not excel. But you gotta be all in, right, to yourself. So you gotta be all in for your own win. So, why did you self-sabotage yourself?
Yeah, I think that the reason why is because I never knew my potential. And the reason, and it sounds very simple, but the reason why I say it is because living in the conditions that I lived in, growing up and being around people who live in similar conditions, and coming from a lineage of being enslaved, I think that sense of hopelessness kind of is transferred generationally. And a lot of people tend to not aspire too high because of fear. And when you look at the period of enslavement, pre-emancipation period, 1864 and before, you recognize that in order to maintain a system like that, you have to demoralize the people. you have to keep them at a level where they won't aspire to be anything, or they won't aspire to want to do anything more than what they're being called to do, which is the grunt work of another group of people. And so when it's transferred generationally, and if that curse isn't broken within that family structure, it's gonna persist, and it's gonna manifest in the next generation.
So your self-sabotage, what you're saying, is basically genetic. It's passed down, it's historical. It's a family problem. It's a community problem. It's anyone who's been enslaved problem. And if you haven't seen the document 13th, please go out and watch that documentary on Netflix right now. It literally tells you how slavery existed and continues its legacy today. Unfortunately, I'm not in support of slavery in any capacity, anywhere on this planet, for the fact that, you know, although we joked about Dorsey to Crenshaw, really the same hood.
Yeah, exactly.
We're both in the Crenshaw district. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're both going to the same Baldwin Hills Mall. Like, it's really the same community, really the same challenges, really the same involvement. So how does you break a family, historical, American, systematic, structured cycle to believe that you can succeed? Because I feel like you're achieving at a higher level at your age than maybe your family members were when they were your age.
Absolutely. And really quick, I just want to shout out, you mentioned documentaries, I want to shout out the Hidden Colors series. And also, 7 a.m. and Gentrified is going to be coming out this February.
2017.
2017. Gentrified, it should be in a city near you. One of the associate producers for that project.
Also go check out Gang Girl, a documentary.
You need to get paid for this, man. You need to get paid for all these advertisements.
I also just support greatness. If you got some greatness, hit me up. You know, at Professor Miles _ Twitter, Instagram. Hit me up. Let me know about your greatness. I'll share it. I'll come interview you if you're in the LA area, or I'm traveling to your city, Philly, Chicago, New York. But nonetheless, you know, Gang Girl, a mother's journey to save her daughter, talking about, you know, getting out of the blood gangs, which was actually made by my stepmother, because I have a sister who is a member of a blood gang housed in the jungles. But you've been able to break a cycle, and what was one main key component? Because what I know about breaking cycles is that there are a lot of components, just like it is in creating it.
Absolutely.
One main component that allows you to break the cycle of enslavement.
Absolutely. And really the enslavement now is psychological. And the first step in order to break that vicious and really savage cycle is to master this, or begin the self-discovery of the mind. The reason why I say it is because a lot of people, especially in our community, we kind of forget our legacy. And legacy is very important. Not in the sense of, you know, your immediate family legacy going back 2-3 generations. No, I mean legacy, a cultural legacy. What we were before the period of enslavement, and how dominant we were as a group of people. I think that's really important to know, and that really helps you find and cultivate that inner beast by helping you develop that inner strength. And I think it adds to that inner strength by knowing culturally where you come from and how important you are to civilization. So for me, breaking that cycle, it took a lot of studying about who am I as a black man, and who am I as a melanated man on this planet? Who's Jean-Jacques Dessalines? Who's Toussaint Louverture? Who's Demario McGhee? Who's Nat Turner? Who's Muammar? So it really took, who's Shaka Zulu? Who's Queen of, and
Melanin on fleek. Like,
yeah.
There's a whole history of African people, African descent, who were excellent. Who didn't believe in these limits that we have today in society? Who overcame them? Like, we had these modern day examples, but the history shows that we've been these people. We've been these civilizations for a long time. And that's a part of knowing who you are, is knowing what blood flows through you. And in addition to that, what history continues with you.
Absolutely.
Because every day you're making history. Right, like, and you can Snapchat, you can IG your history. It's crazy out here today. We just use YouTube.
That's true.
Documenting our story, creating our own narratives, controlling our narratives, controlling who we are, and I think that helps to break the cycle. If I'm hearing you right, is that knowing who you are, knowing where your history has been, and then if you're controlling your mind, you're controlling your behaviors. So am I right in saying that once you knew more about who you are and and your value as a black man in this nation, in this world, I'm sorry. You just made different decisions.
Absolutely. And the thing is that you got to realize that we are a global people. We're not just, your neighborhood or your city or your district or your region. We are a global people, and understanding the global impact that we've made, it changes your life. And so for me, once I became more cognizant or aware of myself, and because